Do you ever feel tired of endless arguments in your relationships? Do you wish there was a way to maintain peace, be truly understood, and build deeper, lasting connections? Relationships, whether with family, friends, or partners, can sometimes feel like a battlefield of words. But what if I told you that the key to harmony isn't about winning arguments, but about mastering something much simpler: active listening? Let me share a personal story. My wife and my mother. Two people I love dearly, yet they couldn't be more different. They have contrasting lifestyles, beliefs, and habits, and for the most part they handle it well. But one day, after a misunderstanding, my wife blurted out harshly, "Don't always judge me like that. I know what to do." My mother felt sad, hurt, and angry. My wife didn't mean harm, but the damage was done. I realized something crucial that day. The way we listen, or fail to, can either heal or break our relationships. What happened next, and how we turned things around, taught me one of the most powerful lessons inspired by Stoic wisdom. Listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. This video is about solving situations like these. By using timeless Stoic principles, I'll show you how to foster understanding, control your emotions, and create relationships built on trust and connection. You'll learn how practices like active listening, emotional mastery, and focusing on what you can control can transform even the most strained relationships into something stronger and more fulfilling. If this resonates with you, stay with me, and don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Share this video with someone who might be struggling in their relationships. Together, we can create stronger bonds and a life filled with harmony. Let's begin. Active listening. At the heart of every strong relationship lies a simple yet often overlooked skill: active listening. It's more than just hearing words. It's about understanding, connecting, and making the other person feel seen and valued. Without it, even the closest relationships can weaken. Why is this so important? Because when we don't listen, truly listen, communication breaks down. People begin to feel unheard, unimportant, and disconnected. And the truth is, many of us have been guilty of it at some point. Listening only to respond, to argue, or to steer the conversation back to ourselves. I experienced this firsthand with an old friend. He and I had been friends since college. At first, I found him interesting, full of energy, and ambitious. He could talk about anything, and I admired that about him. But over time, something started to change. I noticed that every time we met, he dominated the conversation. He talked endlessly about his life, his career, his achievements, his problems. It didn't matter what the topic was. He would tell me in detail about his work challenges, his new plans, and even minor frustrations like someone cutting him off in traffic. But here's what stood out. He never once asked about my life. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe he was excited or just going through a lot. But as time went on, I began to feel tired, invisible, and frankly, unimportant. I realized that every meeting left me drained instead of fulfilled. I wasn't being listened to. I wasn't being respected. Slowly, I started limiting how often I saw him. Eventually, we grew distant. Looking back, I learned a crucial lesson. Relationships, whether friendships, marriages, or partnerships, are built on mutual respect and understanding. When we fail to listen, we fail to connect. And over time, those bonds begin to fray. If you've ever been in this situation, if you've had a friend, colleague, or partner who doesn't seem to listen, you might feel frustrated, even hurt. And here's where Stoic wisdom comes in. Focus not on what you can't control, their behavior, but on what you can, your actions and responses. So what's the solution? It starts with you. If you want to be heard, you must first become a better listener yourself. Listen without interruption. Let the other person speak. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Acknowledge their words. Nod, ask thoughtful questions, and repeat key points to show you're engaged. Avoid blame. If someone isn't listening to you, address it calmly. Say, "I'd like to share something important with you too." Active listening isn't just about hearing words. It's about creating a space where both people feel valued and understood. When you listen with intention, you'll notice something remarkable. Others will start to listen to you too. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic philosopher, said, "Let your words be direct and your intentions be kind." Apply this wisdom. Speak clearly, but also listen with patience and empathy. If you're struggling with someone who talks but doesn't listen, Remember this. Lead by example. Be the person who listens, who understands, and who respects. True connection starts there. Because in the end, listening isn't just a skill, it's an act of love, respect, wisdom. 2. Focus on what you can control. In life, we often exhaust ourselves trying to control what lies beyond our reach, other people's actions, decisions, and emotions. This frustration is even greater in relationships, where misunderstandings can quickly spiral out of control. The truth is that we only have power over one thing: ourselves, our thoughts, actions, and responses. When you focus on what you can control, you reclaim peace of mind and build healthier connections. A few years ago, I had a female colleague who I often worked with. She and I couldn't have been more different. I am a careful, meticulous person, checking every detail before moving forward. She, on the other hand, works fast, sometimes too fast, skipping over critical details. At first, it was just small things, typos in documents, numbers that didn't add up. I pointed them out calmly, but I could feel the tension growing. Then came the breaking point. We were handling a major project for a big client. It required precision, collaboration, and focus. I poured my heart into it, triple-checking every part of the work I was responsible for. My colleague, however, rushed through her section without reviewing it properly. The result? A glaring mistake slipped through, and the entire project failed. The client pulled out. I was furious. All I could think was, how could she be so careless? Why doesn't she take things as seriously as I do? I replayed the failure in my mind over and over. I wanted to confront her, to make her realize the gravity of her mistake. But then I stopped. I remembered one simple Stoic truth. I cannot control her behavior. I can only control my response to it. At that moment, I had a choice. I could let anger consume me and ruin our working relationship, or I could step back, control my emotions, and focus on what I could do to improve the situation. So, I paused, took a deep breath, and reflected. Instead of blaming her, I calmly requested a meeting. When we sat down, I focused on facts, not blame. I said, I noticed there were some details we missed in the project, and I think we need to find a system that works better for both of us. I'm meticulous, but I understand your pace is faster. How can we work together to ensure we avoid these mistakes in the future? What happened next surprised me. She didn't get defensive. Instead, she admitted that she often overlooked details when she was under pressure. Together, we agreed to check each other's work going forward. Her speed was balanced by my attention to detail. Over time, we became a stronger team. The lesson here is simple. Don't try to control others, control yourself. You can't change their habits, but you can change how you respond. Instead of reacting with anger, respond with wisdom. Communicate calmly, set boundaries, and find solutions. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. If you find yourself in a situation like mine, whether with a colleague, a partner, or a friend, pause and ask yourself, what can I control here? Is my reaction helping or hurting the situation? Choose calm over chaos, wisdom over anger. In doing so, you'll not only preserve your peace of mind, but also create healthier, stronger relationships. Because at the end of the day, true power lies in mastering yourself. 3. Seek common ground and compromise. When disagreements happen, we often view them as battles to be won. In trying to prove we are right, we lose sight of what truly matters, the relationship itself. Stoicism reminds us that conflicts don't have to divide us. By focusing on shared values and seeking common ground, we can transform disagreements into opportunities for connection and growth. It's easy to get caught up in pride during an argument, but the truth is that relationships are not competitions. When we prioritize understanding over winning, we create space for solutions that benefit both sides. Let me continue with the story of my wife and my mother. After their heartfelt conversation, something shifted. My mother had expressed her feelings, and my wife had listened, but there was still lingering tension. My mother wanted to feel respected as part of the family, while my wife wanted the freedom to handle things her way. Both had valid concerns, yet their pride kept them from fully seeing each other's perspective. This time, I stepped in, not as a referee, but as someone who cared about them both. I sat them down and asked a simple question. What do you both want from this relationship? They looked at me surprised. My mother said quietly, "I just want us to respect each other and feel like a family." My wife nodded, replying, "I want that too. But sometimes I feel like I'm not trusted to make my own decisions." There it was, the common ground. Both of them wanted respect, trust, and harmony. They just had different ways of expressing it. I gently guided the conversation towards solutions. My mother agreed to trust my wife's decisions more and offer advice only when asked. In return, my wife promised to communicate her intentions openly, so my mother didn't feel left out or judged. It wasn't a perfect resolution. There's no such thing. But it was a compromise rooted in shared values. And because both sides felt heard, the tension began to dissolve. When conflicts arise, pause and ask yourself, what do we both want here? More often than not, the answer will reveal a shared goal, a foundation you can build on together. Here's how to find common ground and compromise in your relationships. Identify shared values. Look for what you both care about, whether it's respect, trust, or harmony. Focusing on shared goals helps you move past petty disagreements. Set pride aside. Winning an argument might feel good in the moment, but it can harm the relationship long term. Prioritize connection over ego. Listen to understand. Truly hear what the other person is saying. Their concerns are often valid, even if expressed poorly. Collaborate on solutions. Find a middle ground where both sides feel respected and valued. Compromise isn't about giving up, it's about moving forward together. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "We are born for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids." Relationships thrive not when we win, but when we work together. In any disagreement, ask yourself, am I trying to prove I'm right, or am I trying to understand? When you shift your mindset from competition to collaboration, you create the space for true connection. Next time you find yourself in conflict, remember this: the other person isn't your opponent. They're someone you care about. Look for common ground, seek compromise, and choose harmony over division. Because in the end, relationships aren't about being right, they're about being together. 4. Control your emotions with reason. Emotions are powerful. They surge in the heat of the moment and often drive us to react impulsively. But when emotions control you, you lose your power. Stoicism teaches us a critical truth. We can control our emotions by choosing how we respond to situations. Instead of letting anger, frustration, or pride take over, we can pause, reflect, and act with reason. This is where true strength lies, in mastering yourself. Let me take you back to the story I shared earlier. After the failed project, the situation got worse. My colleague and I were called into a team meeting, and our boss criticized us harshly in front of everyone. I still remember his words. "This mistake cost us a lot. You both need to take your work more seriously." At that moment, I felt my anger boil inside me. I thought, why is he blaming me? I did my part perfectly. This isn't fair. My instinct was to defend myself, to snap back and make sure everyone knew it wasn't my fault. I gripped the edge of the table, ready to react. But then I stopped. I remembered a core Stoic principle. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. My boss's words were out of my control. The only thing I could control was my response. So I took a deep breath. Instead of arguing or shifting blame, I chose to listen. When the meeting ended, I asked for a private conversation with my boss. I calmly explained the situation, acknowledging the failure, but also sharing how I had approached the project. I didn't blame my colleague or make excuses. I simply focused on the facts. To my surprise, my boss appreciated my calm response. He said, "I understand. I can see you take this seriously. Let's figure out a way to prevent this from happening again." That day, I learned something powerful. Staying calm in moments of emotional chaos earns you respect and gives you clarity. In life, you will face situations where anger feels justified, being blamed unfairly, someone's harsh words, or an unexpected failure. But reacting in anger rarely fixes the problem. More often, it makes things worse. Here's how you can control your emotions with reason. Pause before you react. When emotions surge, don't respond immediately. Take a few deep breaths. Give yourself a moment to calm down. Reflect on what you can control. Ask yourself, is this within my control? What's the best way I can respond? Focus on the facts. Separate emotions from the situation. Respond calmly and objectively, without blame or defensiveness. Choose reason over impulse. Remember, your strength lies in your ability to stay calm. The more you master your emotions, the more control you gain over your life. Epictetus said it best: when someone behaves badly toward you, remember that he is acting by his own principles, not yours. Your emotions don't have to control you. When someone criticizes you or life feels unfair, pause and reflect. Respond with calm reason instead of impulsive anger. You'll gain clarity, earn respect, and most importantly, you'll keep your peace. If you find yourself in a situation like mine, where you're tempted to react, stop and ask, what's the best version of me in this moment? Because true strength isn't shouting the loudest or proving you're right. True strength is staying calm, composed, and in control, no matter what life throws at you. 5. Live each moment to the fullest. Life moves quickly. Before you know it, years have passed, and all that's left are memories of moments you wish you had cherished more. We often let the past haunt us or the future worry us. But Stoic wisdom teaches us this: true peace and connection can only be found in the present moment. When you are fully engaged in the now, you experience life as it's meant to be lived, free from distractions, regrets, or anxieties. But let me share something real. My wife and I had a bad habit. We often argued over trivial things from the past, like who forgot to pay a bill, or we'd stress about things that hadn't even happened yet. Questions like, what if this project doesn't work out? Or, why didn't you handle that situation differently last month? Would fill our evenings. Small arguments would snowball into frustration, and at the end of the day, we both felt emotionally drained. Then one Saturday, after a particularly silly argument, we both stopped and looked at each other. My wife said, "This isn't working. We're missing the good parts of our lives." She was right. We had let our worries rob us of the joy that was right in front of us. So we made a simple decision: to turn off our phones, leave our worries behind, and just spend time together. No distractions, no agenda, just us. We went for a walk in the park. It felt strange at first. We were so used to filling silence with stress or checking our phones every few minutes. But as we walked, we began to talk, not about yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's plans, but about things that made us happy. We noticed little details: the warmth of the sun, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, the way kids laughed as they played nearby. By the end of that walk, something had shifted. We realized that these small, ordinary moments, the ones we so often overlook, are what matter. For the first time in a long while, we felt truly connected. If you find yourself dwelling on the past or stressing about the future, remember this: the present moment is all you truly have. When you focus on being here and now, you give yourself and your loved ones the gift of your full presence. Here's how you can practice living in the moment. Eliminate distractions. Put away your phone, turn off the TV, and be fully present. Focus on simple joys. Pay attention to small, meaningful details: laughter, nature, conversation. Let go of the past. What's done is done. Learn from it, but don't let it steal your peace. Stop fearing the future. Worrying about tomorrow only takes away from today. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This is a reminder that life is fleeting. Wasting time on regrets or fears only blinds you to the beauty of now. The next time you feel frustrated or disconnected, pause. Take a breath. Look around you and engage fully with the people and the moment in front of you. Whether it's a quiet dinner with your partner, a simple walk, or a shared laugh, these moments are what life is made of. Because in the end, it's not the big events or achievements that bring us peace. It's the little, ordinary moments we choose to embrace. Live them fully. 6. Recognize and accept objective facts. Life is full of situations where we misunderstand reality because emotions distort our perspective. We overthink someone's words, assume intentions, or let anger paint the facts in darker shades. Stoicism reminds us of an essential principle: see things as they truly are. When you strip away emotions, assumptions, and judgments, you gain clarity and power. Let's face it, there are moments when emotions cloud the truth. You might think someone disrespected me or made me angry. But the Stoics teach us this: no one has the power to make us feel anything. Our feelings are born from how we interpret what happens, not from the event itself. Let's revisit the project I mentioned earlier. After the failure, my colleague and I were publicly criticized by our boss. At that moment, I felt angry, humiliated, and misunderstood. My immediate thought was, this isn't fair. I did my job right. Why is he treating me like this? But here's the truth. Those feelings didn't come from my boss's words. They came from my interpretation of those words. I let emotions twist what had happened into something personal. If I had stripped the situation down to its objective facts, it would have looked like this. The project failed. My boss responded with frustration. Both my colleague and I shared responsibility. That's it. No blame, no drama, just reality. My anger and pride were reactions I chose, not facts of the situation. Recognizing this helped me stop feeling like a victim and start focusing on what I could control. When emotions run high, take a moment to pause and clear your mind. Step back from the situation and look at it as if you're an outsider. What actually happened? Strip away assumptions, opinions, and blame, and focus only on the facts. Instead of saying, they made me feel this way, or it's their fault, remind yourself, this happened, and I control how I respond. With this clarity, let go of the need to assign blame and shift your focus to finding solutions. By choosing reason over reaction, you gain the power to move forward with calm and purpose. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This means that when you strip situations down to the facts, you take control of your mind. You stop being a prisoner of anger, frustration, or resentment. Next time you find yourself upset, remember this: emotions are not the truth. Pause, breathe, and ask, what are the facts here? By doing this, you'll see the situation clearly and regain your peace. Because clarity gives you strength, and strength gives you freedom. 7. Practice compassion and forgiveness. In relationships, it's easy to hold on to resentment when someone hurts us, even unintentionally. But holding on to anger weighs us down and distances us from those we care about. Stoicism teaches that compassion and forgiveness free us from this burden. Forgiving someone doesn't mean agreeing with what they did. It means choosing to release resentment so you can move forward with peace. Let me pick up where we left off with the story of my wife and my mother. After they found common ground and agreed to respect each other's perspectives, things improved, but the tension still lingered. My mother, though understanding, still felt hurt. My wife, while calmer, carried her guilt. One evening, I suggested they sit together and talk openly, not about who was right or wrong, but about their feelings. My mother started softly. "I know we're different, but I want you to know I love you like a daughter. Sometimes my words come out wrong, but they come from care." My wife paused for a moment before replying, "I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't mean to hurt you. I've been stressed and I took it out on you." That conversation was short, but it was enough. My mother offered forgiveness, and my wife accepted it with humility. Neither of them was perfect, but by showing compassion and forgiveness, they chose connection over conflict. When someone hurts us, our first instinct might be to lash out or withdraw. But Stoicism reminds us that we can choose a different path, one of understanding and release. Here's how to practice compassion and forgiveness. Separate intention from action. Often, people's words or behaviors are not meant to harm you. Assume their intentions were good, even if the outcome wasn't. Express your feelings calmly. Share how you feel without blame. Use phrases like, "When this happened, I felt," rather than pointing fingers. Choose forgiveness for yourself. Forgiving someone doesn't mean they were right. It means freeing yourself from the emotional weight of resentment. Marcus Aurelius said, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself, what fault of mine most resembles the one I criticize?" Next time you feel wronged, pause and ask, is holding on to this anger helping me? Choose compassion. Choose forgiveness. It's not just a gift to them, it's a gift to yourself. Building meaningful relationships requires patience, emotional mastery, and practical wisdom, core principles of Stoic philosophy. These lessons are tools to help you respond with clarity, kindness, and calm, even when life tests you. Start by focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and responses. You can't change others, but you can choose how you react. Practice active listening to truly understand, not just respond. When conflicts arise, seek common ground. Relationships thrive when you prioritize connection over pride. In difficult moments, learn to control your emotions with reason. Pause, breathe, and act calmly rather than impulsively. At the same time, remember to live each moment fully. Be present with those you care about because the little moments are what truly matter. Clarity comes when you see things as they are, free from emotional distortions. Focus on the facts and let go of unnecessary blame. Finally, choose compassion and forgiveness. By releasing resentment, you create space for healing and connection. These small but powerful steps, practiced daily, can transform your relationships and bring you peace. The next time you face a challenge, ask yourself, how can I respond with wisdom in this moment? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your stories in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and remember, true change begins within. When you master yourself, you strengthen every relationship around you.